studied art history and studio art at Williams College, and at the GSD I'm an MArch 1 and also an MLA 1 AP. So third semester core is called integrate, a verb that suggests how we negotiated complex systems within a semester-long tower project. The tower's robust program included gallery space, pool and spa, a black box theater, a greenhouse, and a hotel. There were 3 possible sites for the project: Las Vegas, Nevada, Sapporo, Japan, and Singapore, which provided frameworks for differentiation within the studio based both on culture and on climate. Situated within these 3 cities, our project's tectonics, program, structure, energy exchanges, and building codes had to coordinate and develop into a new synthetic whole in a range of integrated architectural projects across the studio. My project, located in Sapporo, Japan, began with the provocation that the typical camping tent and its thin membranes, in a small, efficient, layered organization, can be a scalable conceptual model for designing in cold climates like Sapporo. The tent is an efficient thermodynamic system. Body heat warms it, and layers of nylon filter out the cold. In a proposal for the scale of the tower, I defined an organization for my project that consisted of a core surrounded and insulated by concentric layers of program. This framework underlays the final manifestation of my tower project. It understands interiority to be a necessary symptom of life in snowy Sapporo and questions how the gradient between inside and outside is negotiated. The project engages enclosure with 2 systems, an extruded core and an undulating triple-layered facade. The facade surfaces form the tectonic, thermodynamic, and experiential thrust of the project, but they are only able to do so with the support of the core's structure and organizational skeleton. The core contains all major circulation and services for the project. It absorbs the functional elements that define the essential towerness of the project. The rest of the space is free to respond to 3 continuous layers populated with slumped, curved glass pillows. The core anchors the structure for the entire project. Curving columns at the perimeter are able to deviate from orthogonality with a gestural flourish because of the core's rigid backbone. The multi-layered curved glass facade serves as a diagrammatic counterpoint to the schematic core, and the 2 systems complement one another. The core is projective, absorbing the necessities of the tower, while the pillows are critical with respect to the disciplinary problem of the envelope and enclosure. The facades follow a unifying language of swelling at the scales of the individual pillow module, the small enclosure, and the building massing. In its most open plan, the system of layers separates to accommodate a greenhouse. The outer 2 layers pinch together to receive the larger pool and spa program. Here, extensions of the core subdivide the arrangement of thermal baths while accommodating the secondary structural system between the outermost layers. In its most cellular disposition, the system of layers crosses itself throughout the hotel floors to create private garden spaces around the project's perimeter. Hotel guests would experience the clear schematic organization of the core, followed by a movement between the 3 facade layers. The relationship between core and pillows is demonstrated in this fragment model of 3 hotel rooms. Clear 3D printed pillows approximate the optical effects of curved glass between which hotel guests would dwell. So in my project, which hinged on the quality of space between these layers, I used both digital and analog processes to inform and assess the geometry of the individual pillow and topography of the overall modulated facades. So these studies represent optical effects as light passes through and reflects on different glass geometries. I tested extruded forms as well as a variety of different pillow shapes and depths before determining which option would maximize modulation of light and most easily join to a structural frame. My physical model became a testing ground for these effects at the scale of the envelope and suggests lighting conditions that would result within the project, yielding a range of opacity, reflection, and legibility of the structure and floor plates within the glass enclosure. I modeled the thousands of glass windows with the help of Grasshopper and Rhino and CNC milled all the facades out of MDF. Vacuum forming the surface in clear PETG plastic yielded multiple layers of modulated surfaces, which could then be attached in the model to the core and floor plates. So the pillowed surfaces follow a rational logic with respect to the way they surround the core and arrange program, heat exchange, and structure. It was also important to me that poetic sensuality and experience a nod to the poetic simplicity of the tiny camping tent, could integrate with the project too, via the optical effect of the pillows, their universal application, and their resonance at multiple scales. Thank you.